actually went out on the road at that point to start selling tools for Anson. So that was our first introduction into the paintless doing repair industry. So at that point, my dad would be out on the road for a couple weeks at a time, finding places, going to hailstorms, basically orders that would come in at Anson. It would be, okay, there's a lot of orders coming from Georgia. We should go check that out. My mom and I would go with him. In the summer, we spent pretty much all summer out on the road with him, a couple weeks at a time. There were not tablets back then, so this was in like 1997. So we would drive cross country. Dad would drive cross country like this, you know, holding the TV so we could watch the VCR in the car. Our main requirement, because it was the summer, is that our hotel room had to have a pool. That's what Mom and I did in the morning. We went to the pool, Dad went out to shops selling, and he'd come pick us up. We'd go have lunch, go sell with him for a little bit, and that's just how we did it while we were out on the road. So there was actually one specific time that McDonald's had the Beanie Baby craze. Again, we're in the 90s, okay? And it was my life mission to get every single Beanie Baby. And we were out on the road going through the southern states, and we went into one dent shop, and Dad was selling tools, told him about the Beanie Baby thing. The whole shop said, you know what, everybody's having McDonald's today, everybody's having a Happy Meal so that Christina can have the Beanie Babies. So that's something today that, you know, then it was cool, but now we get to talk about it, laugh about it. It's a memory that we have in this industry for somebody doing something for us. So that's just how we did things. You know, we made it work as a family to go and be with Dad when it was possible. And he was at home when it was possible. Like I mentioned, we'd be gone for weeks at a time. We even brought our dog with us, a little miniature dachshund. And instead of paying the pet fee at the Motel 6 or the Super 8, my mom wrapped her up like a baby and carried her in. So, you know, we just made it work. We just did funny things that we laugh about now, you know, talking about doing this speech. We were cracking up just thinking about all the stuff we did. So it was a really cool thing. After a few years of my dad selling out on the road, he was trained to become a technician. Go through here. This is actually the first trade show that Anson did. And if you notice, there's some dent craft tools up there, and my grandfather there on the right, my dad up here on the left. And if you've been at Anson for any extended period of time, then you've met Bridget that was here in the middle. And here's one of our trips. Again, we made it a family trip when we would go out places. If any of you know my mom, she goes by Mimi or Cupcakes or of the like. And there we are at the beach in Florida. I'm pretty sure that's a trip that we took our dog on. Anyway, after a few years of being out on the road, my dad was trained to become a technician, like I said. So spring break 2000 for me was spent in New Orleans. I would have been about 12, and that's where my dad was being trained. So my mom was a teacher. Spring break, we had off, so we went out to meet Dad. That was my first time to have a dent guy as a babysitter during that trip. I turned out okay. But my point with that is, you know, Mom and Dad hadn't seen each other in a while, so they had somebody that they trusted to hang out with me. You know, I was 12, I wasn't a little bitty kid. And they had a date together, you know, spent time together, made a point to, out on the road, try to do something normal. So after my dad was trained, that was really our big introduction into chasing hail and him being gone for extended periods of time. So he would be gone for up to 3 months at a time at this point. So we kind of developed our own routine at home. My mom and I, you know, we would have our routine, and Dad would have his routine, you know, while he was out. But no matter what was going on for him, didn't matter where he was, how many cars were in the shop, what was going on. He was across the world. If we wanted him home for this volleyball game, this dance, he was there. No matter what was going on. So that was at the forefront for us, was looking at the period that he was going to be gone. Okay, in this amount of time, what do we need to look at as a family of what we need to be there for together? And we made that happen. While he was gone across the world, and let me get back to a few of these pictures here. That's when we were in Nashville. That is, and you had hair too. So again, these pictures are trips that we were on, as a family while he was out chasing Hale. And again, back to when he was gone for 3 months at a time. So that was really hard when he would come back home because, like I said, we kind of developed our routine of being home. He had his routine of being gone, and we had to learn to live together again. We all wanted that, excited for everybody to be back together, but it takes some time. So I want to bring that to a point of we need to give each other time when we're back home, because it does take time. And, we're all in it together with that, having patience with everyone. But, again, when he would be gone, and we would try to meet up with him, we got to go to Australia, which was pretty cool. That was spring break 2005 for me. So that's a trip that we would have never gone on in any other way, any other job Dad would have had. That wouldn't have happened, and we were able to experience that as a family. We were able to meet the people that Dad was working with for months at a time. Get to meet the people he was around, get to experience a different part of the world and do it together. And I know that it took a lot of his paycheck to get us there and to spend that time together, but it was important to us to do that together. So we made it happen, and of course we had fun along the way. There's Australia right there. And there's all of us together in Australia. This was before selfies, so there was not a whole lot of pictures with the three of us together, but anyway, we had a great time. And, one of the things that I think that my family has done and instilled in me was my dad would make relationships out on the road no matter where he was. And he could have been gone for 2 weeks, he could have been gone for 3 months, or 9 months total, with stints in between. He made relationships with those around him, and those people that he made relationships with on the road ended up being people in our home, at our dinner table. People that when he would be working with them, it was a joy for us to see them because they were now part of our family. So that is something that has come full circle for me now that I'm in the industry, and I get to see it firsthand with my family. This industry takes care of one another. I want to see everybody looking to the person next to them. I'm trying not to cry. Like I saw my dad do, like I saw my grandfather do, like I want to see in myself for this industry. It's just so powerful that there has not been a major life event that did not have somebody from the PDR industry in it for me. How cool is that? My 21st birthday was in Vegas, and believe it or not, a dent guy bought my first shot in Vegas. I'm telling you, it turned out okay after all this experience, but I danced with dent guys at my wedding. Bringing my baby home from the hospital, dent guys with my parents brought me a meal. So I just am honored to be the third generation in this industry that has taken care of my grandparents, my parents, and now my family. So I just want everybody to see what this industry together, when we make it a family together, how we can end up helping each other in the long run. So, and I hope that's something, we all hope that's something that with the 23 years experience that this Anson family has had, that's evident in what we do today when you see us, when you call us, when you see Biggs and Chris out on the road, that it's, you see the care and the dedication from what we've learned doing all of this stuff together, really. So with this being full circle, with this being myself as the third generation, maybe my girls will be the fourth. You know, that would be pretty cool. My youngest, Emma, she's 2. She comes to Anson with me Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's not ideal. I was just talking to Jeffrey about that. It's not ideal, but it works. It's fun. It's less than childcare. And that's just how we do things. We make it work. It's not perfect. It's not beautiful. My family put the funk and dysfunction, but we make it work for each other, and we have fun along the way. I do have a couple of questions for you guys. How do you make it work for your family? I told you a little bit about how we made it work, but is there anybody out here that would want to share something that they've done out on the road or when they're back home in hopes that it can help another family here today? Crickets. Yes, sir. Oh.
How you doing, guys? My name is Jose Andino from New York. Basically, I think doing Hail for about like 10 years now, and one thing that was tough was that the one blessing of Hail was that I was able to allow my wife to retire early, and we got married early, so it was like a blessing. She didn't have to start a career and be able to go through the headaches of what it takes to be an employee. But as a young family, we today now are about to have our 4th child, and my wife decided, and I didn't know this is nerve-wracking to talk.
You can do it.
Yeah, no, like everyone's looking right through me. But all jokes aside, my wife and I decided that we should homeschool. And my wife is not a teacher. We both hated school. We're actually high school sweethearts, so we know each other well. And it was a big challenge. She decided to, actually God put in place this heart of hers to want to first start at a private school where we had our kids at. She just started tutoring and just offering her time to help other kids. And with that, she gained this passion to want to teach. And then we started speaking. It was like, well, if you like to do this, if you're willing to sacrifice for others, would there be a possibility for you to sacrifice for our own family and do that while I go on the road? And with a lot of prayer, we did it. It was hard. Curriculums and everything. She had to teach 2 different grade levels, and for the past 2 years, she has been teaching. With our kids, she's been teaching them, and we've been on the road together. It's been tough because now we got to take on books, and right now my wife and kids are in the hotel. We just came from South Dakota. I've been there for almost 6 months working, and we're in a 2-bedroom cabin, crunched in with a 1-year-old, and she has another one in her belly, You know, so it's a wild ride, guys. You know, I know you understand what I'm saying, but that was one thing that's actually helped us. You know, so that we can grow together and be together, and I can see the change in my children, how they, you know, how they are also sacrificing their friends so that they can stay close to the family. And I felt like that was more important for us, especially this early on, just to be together. So, thanks for letting me speak.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that has something?
What's up? Name's Dwayne from Tennessee. I'm new to this. I haven't chased it all yet. So, that's why I'm here. I'm learning. So, but one thing I have done is I spent 15 years in the military, and going away for long periods of time was rough for the family, especially in that case. You can't necessarily just call home or Skype or whatever, you know. So the big thing for my family, I've got 3 kids and a wife, been married for almost 10 years, is communication. Don't leave them out of the loop on anything. And while you are home, set up stuff for your spouse and kids. Do the job, set them up to where you know, they have that support structure at home. You know, in not all cases, not everybody can hop in a camper. You know, I've got 3 kids, and I can't buy a camper big enough to make everybody happy. So, you know, so you're right. Everybody's fighting. So, you know, just communicate. Try to do your part while you're at home, setting up that support structure at home, whether it's family, friends, daycares, schools, whatever the case may be, and just really, you know, be involved while you are home. You know, and you know, try to prepare your family for your departure. You know, no matter where you're going. If you're going to the next state over, if you're going all the way to Australia, or whatever the case may be, just go that extra mile for your family too. So, but thank you. That's all I got.
Anybody else that would like to share anything? That was really helpful. Anybody? Okay, well, I have another question, so you don't get off the hook. How has the PDR family shown up for you? So, remember back to that McDonald's story? You know, that was really cool. That was something that people in the industry did. It was so easy. It was so simple. But it's still something that lasts with us today. So, does anybody out here have a McDonald's story or the way that the PDR family has helped you? Okay, Dad. Oh, there we go. Okay.
So my name is Shane, and this year I went out to Colorado and worked, and left my wife and our kids in college, and they live fairly close to home. And so I go out on the road, I'm working, and if you don't do what this guy said to do, and this guy's convicted to do every day, you can end up making some mistakes that are very, very costly. That happened to me this year. And so you get involved with work, you get committed to work, and you get focused in on work, and unfortunately, you just sort of lose focus. That happened to me this year. And had it not been for this cat right here, and this cat right here, Ryan Hampton and Ryan Matthews, I don't know that I would have made it through this year. And so don't be afraid to lean on these guys. Wives of these men that are chasing hell, and some of these ladies that are fixing dents, don't be afraid to reach out to these guys, because they know what is going down. They know what you're going through. And when I read this question, how has the PDR family shown up for you? I can't just sit here and just pretend that question isn't there, because they simply were there for me when in a dark place for me. But You know, and it happens. I guess I would just say that it happens so fast. I mean, it's almost like you're focused in on work. A few days goes by, in your mind it feels like a few days. And really, you look up and it's 3 months into the deal, and you're going, dude, I've been home 2 days. What are my kids thinking? What is my wife thinking? And that is just not the way to do this. I'm just telling you here right now. If that is you, if that is how you are operating the idea and this game plan of chasing hail, I will tell you that is the wrong way to do it, because you will wake up one day and get a bad phone call, or have to make a bad phone call. So lean on the guys that you're working around to keep your head straight and get your tail home, or get your spouse to where you are more often than you think that needs to happen. So how has the PDR family shown up for me? It's helped me provide for my family, and that's one thing. I think it's not a secret that given the right scenarios, we all can do well, but none of that is worth anything. I can tell you, none of that is worth anything unless you can share that with the woman that you love, that this couple talking about their high school sweetheart. All of that doesn't matter unless you're. Oh, we're going to clear that up right now. It's part of the problem, Shane. But you got to lean on these people, man. They're there for you. And so, all that said, I couldn't make it without the guys that I get to be around every day, and they know.
A little bit of advice to everybody. It's simple, it's cliche. Plant the seeds that are going to grow and help you in this industry. And just look around you at all these amazing people that'll jump up and help you in a phone call. Like Crystal just said, maybe you're having a bad day or a great day you want to talk about. There's people right next to you that you're going to be tight with for the rest of your life. That are going to be at your kid's wedding, big things like that. So we're truly blessed.